Good morning. I am going to be showing you all some foundation, concealer, contouring, and highlighting tips this morning. This is actually going to be going on YouTube, so it could be night too. I don't know. I lose my voice, so I have to have, and I can't even drink coffee, guys. I'm like a child. It's cappuccino because coffee is too strong for me. Okay, so let's get started here. Enough about that. So first off, our foundation is non-comedogenic, which means it does not clog pores. It's medium coverage but buildable. So if you want more coverage, you can do that. First things first, makeup has no rules. Like, people do anything with makeup. It's like an art, and that was what kept me away for a while. But don't let it keep you away, because really the cool part about that is, you know, you can do anything. You're gonna hear lots of cooing in the background. I just have an assistant always, so there's not much you can do about it. So anyway, I used to take this directly from the tube and into my hands. That's not necessarily recommended because it's going to get all over your hands and it's not going to blend very well. We have this awesome Flawless Finish sponge, and it's damp, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But what I do kind of, this is going to be super thin lines. You can't really tell from there, obviously, because you're not with me. That looks like it's like this big thing, but it's not at all. I do my cheek area because that's like my brightest. This is kind of how I just apply it. Some people do just teeny tiny dots. I like a little more full coverage, so I'm putting it all over the place. And I'm not putting it at any certain spot because that's just not me. I just go for it and then I blend it as I can. So that's how I start. And then I take this and I'm just kind of patting it. When you do your foundation shade, so this one's a little lighter than I normally kind of want to do. Sometimes my skin changes throughout the year, but like, I actually have an order in for a little bit darker than this. This is our buff shade, but sometimes when you do lighter, it will show your wrinkles a little bit more, so it's better to err on the side of a teeny bit darker than lighter. But this one matches my neck pretty well, so I like that. I have to get my headband a lot. Now, I did this purposefully on this day. I usually don't struggle with blemishes at all. Since starting Labrai, I used to get probably during the month, 2 weeks out of the month, right around that time, I would have 2 or 3 or even 4 sometimes blemishes. And since starting, as long as I'm consistent day and night, I don't get them. But I visited my cousin and came home and I just completely forgot to wash my face one night during those precious 2-week time period where my hormones are wacky. So I got one, but I actually am doing this purposefully during that time so I can kind of show you what I do with that. So I don't worry a ton about it while I'm applying my foundation. I will say, if you want your foundation to be a little on the heavier side, you're gonna want to not have this be as wet. I like mine a little lighter, but I kind of did forget about this guy down here. So I'm gonna just do a little bit more here. See, it's a little bit more red. I do powder too, so I don't need my liquid to be super heavy. I just need it to, you know, kind of be, and I've noticed when I do videos, I really have to look because sometimes it's hard on my phone to see the colors. And last time I was doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it didn't blend it. So if you see any spots where it didn't blend very good, I promise I will once I get to an actual mirror. But I am doing this on my phone and just trying to do my best. Okay, so you can see like that. That's pretty much my base liquid foundation. So some days I just leave it like that, you know. It's just a little bit more even tone. That's kind of what I use it for. If I want to go darker, I can, because this is buildable, so I could do more. I'm not going to, just for the sake of time and for the sake of I'm showing you a bunch of other stuff too. So I'm going to quick show you the next thing. So for my concealer, a lot of people do this under your foundation, but it's actually, and this is, I'm only telling you things that most people agree on, because like I said, a lot of people disagree. You could do this in almost any order and people wouldn't even bat an eye. But concealer, it is nice to put on after your foundation because otherwise you're just covering it up. So with a concealer, if you're in a party or you're seeing me do a party and then watching this video, I usually post a little like map that Labrai gives for where to apply your concealer and your contouring and all that. But if you're not in a party, some people do dots. I'm not like some people, I don't know. Some people do like way out here. I just do a little triangle under the eye here just to get that area looking a little brighter. Now I have a round face, so I copy like the things that they say for round. There is another little spot here that they tell you to lighten up. And it is actually recommended not to use this wand directly, but I changed mine enough that I'm not too worried about it. And then down here, someone's gonna get mad for us. Hopefully not too mad. And then a little bit down here, and then obviously on this guy, I'm gonna do this. Now I will tell you, this is also a shade lighter than I normally want to use. Medium neutral is the one that I normally use, but I have it ordered. I have light neutral right now. So this is a little lighter than I would normally do, but just for demonstration purposes, it's fine. And it's winter in Wisconsin, so I'm not like super tan right now anyway. Now the thing about this is wet. So I usually have a dry one and I don't have it with me right now. For this area especially, I would want to use that dry because this is where I gotta make sure I'm blending well. Because I can't see it that well. So, what was I talking about? No, I think I was just talking about the lightness and, oh, the wet sponge thing. Okay, yeah, so, now I'm not gonna use this damp one. I like it for when I'm blending these guys because it's just kind of like, okay, make that look nice. And I'm not a pro, I've before, oh my goodness, he is totally into the cereal right now. We'll just see what happens if you hear a big like fall of cereal all over. Let the big boys deal with it. He totally pulled it out all over the floor. So I'm patting this one with my finger. That's not what I normally do. I normally have a dry one, but you can see if I would have used this, I would have wiped it right off. Hey boys, can one of you help him eat a pouch right now? He's hungry and mommy's trying to do a video. I'll have to introduce y'all to him at some point. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna do that, and I think it's blended. Again, it's hard to see in the light. But if I would have done that, it would just kind of smeared it off. So I just dabbed it with something more dry. So that's that. So yeah, I'm not professional, but I didn't even do any makeup, no foundation when I started with Labri 4 years ago. I think it took me a year, maybe 6 months to start it. And then I just have played and learned from other people. So I'm not the lady on there who's gonna have like perfect lines and an artist, no way, but I can show you where it's supposed to go. I can give you ideas and you can watch more professional people if you want, but I'm just a simple mom just giving it a go, and you know, I play with it and learn too. So I've gotten better and better over time, and that's kind of the key to it all, isn't it? So next thing I'm gonna do is my contouring palette. So there's also a mat for this. So it's pretty much agreed the whole time for my face shape. So I'd say I'm either circle or oval. I don't even know more. I feel like more round. So up here is a place that they say to do it. Over here is a place they say to do it. And then like on my sides of my nose, so that's supposed to elongate it. So like I did the light here, and then now I'm doing the dark in the corners, and that's supposed to, you know, make it look longer instead of wider, I guess. Does it work? I don't know, you'll have to tell me. And then a really important spot for this too is under. So I do blush too. Some people just do contouring. I do blush. So it's gonna be like this lower area because your blush is gonna go above it and the highlighter even above that. I'm kind of doing it down here. Setting that, we're gonna set that cheekbone up for success here. Again, I like being in a regular mirror, but I just want to kind of show you guys where it goes. If my color looks crazy, it's just that I'm not used to this. I don't usually apply my makeup like this, but I'll blend it out later. So that's that. Some people have you do it right here. I find that it makes my neck look, you know, it sets that neck color a little, so I don't do a lot down there, but you could. So that's that. And then I take my blush. And I have Naked Rose that I'm going to use. And that I do on my apples. Actually, okay, before I do that, sorry. I missed a step that I do. I tend to take some powder. Just my regular color. And I honestly can't even remember which one matches the buff. But that's what this is. And I just quick go like this. And that's kind of a blending thing too, is just making that so it doesn't, so you can't see those lines so much. And then just kind of like making it look a little more matte. The finish. Okay, good enough. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so now is when I do my blush. So I do that Naked Rose, and then you're doing it on the apple of your cheekbone. You're not doing it too low, just kind of give it a little bit of that pretty kind of color. Right here. I'll be with you in a minute, okay, bud? Just doing a little makeup. 3 boys with me home every day, and we have fun together, but they've got to be patient sometimes too, and they've got the older ones definitely help me with that little brother. Okay, again, it's so hard. I can't tell if everything's done, so just forgive me. I can show you what I also do to help with that, like in the mirror if that happens. So now I've got a little bit of this highlighter. It's just a little bit of a sparkle. And on the Labrai map, as I call it, they have you putting it up here. And you can actually use it. Some people, it depends, use their contour, or I mean not their contour, their concealer under their brow, over their brow, under their brow, over their brow. You can use a little of this. I actually take a little of this. It's not necessarily recommended, but after I do right here, just to get those little bit of sparklies, I take this and I do a little in that spot we were supposed to lighten up with our concealer, and a little on my chin down here too. And I just make sure that it's nothing like that you're really gonna see. And if I feel like my blemish is just a little more, I'll take like a little of that powder on my finger and just kind of go over the top again too. And that covered it up pretty good. So yes, so that's what I do. And then if today's pretty good, but like if I had any where I felt like my wrinkles were really, it wasn't sitting well, I actually take our hydrating mist and spray a couple spritzes, and I don't, not too much, but then I just kind of pat it. And that will help with a little bit of that, like, oh my gosh, look, it looked like it didn't rub in, it didn't blend. It'll kind of set it and make it look really nice. So that is my routine. Now it was 12 minutes. It doesn't take me that long. I promise it doesn't take me that long. It probably takes 5, but I'm not yapping the whole time telling people how to do stuff and things like that. So again, just to go over the colors, I used Buff. I used light neutral, but I usually use medium. The concealer palette. This is the concealer. The contour palette with the contour brush. And then I use the Naked Rose color. So I hope that helps. Again, not a pro, but I think it just gives you an idea of where you can put it and some of the techniques that I use to put it on.